Let me say something that might relieve you a little. Your audiobook audio is probably better than you think it is. If you've been obsessing over plugins, upgrading interfaces, changing microphones every 6 months, and still wondering if your audio is good enough, this video is for you. Because most narrators aren't struggling with bad audio. They're struggling with clarity. This is something that I see every single month with a lot of the productions that I work on. So here's the first thing that actually matters. Your recording space. It's not sexy, but it does matter. It makes a world of difference. Nobody wants to hear that solution isn't a new compressor or a new thing. But your room determines 80% of your sound before you even hit record. If your room is controlled, quiet, and consistent, your mastering and your recording become simple. If your room is inconsistent, reflective, noisy, no plugin or technique is going to save you. And I see this constantly. Narrators trying to fix their sound with EQ when the issue is early reflections bouncing off of drywall. You don't need a $3,000 booth. You just need control. You need consistency. You need to stop moving your setup every other week. The second thing that actually matters, I've already said it, is consistency. Publishers don't want perfection, they want reliability. They want to know that chapter 1 sounds like chapter 18. And this is where a lot of narrators struggle. One day you record at 7 a.m., the next day you're recording at 10 p.m., you're moving your mic position, you're changing your gain on your preamp. The energy is different, and therefore the noise floor is going to be different. And then mastering becomes a moving target because of all those changing variables. You're not fighting your voice, you're fighting those variables. And that's what matters. And I love to see when the biggest mind shift happens in a narrator, and that narrator realizes, oh, I don't need better plugins, I just need a repeatable system. That changes everything. Here's the third thing that actually matters, and this one's a big one: decision making. Most narrators don't lack tools, they lack confidence in their decisions. Should I compress more? Is this too bright? Is this too tinny? Is my noise floor okay? Should I just re-record that line? That constant second guessing creates more stress than the actual technical work itself. And that's the difference, in my opinion, between a self-producing narrator who feels overwhelmed and another narrator who feels steady and publisher ready. The steady narrators aren't guessing. They've learned what matters and what doesn't. And that's a skill, not a plug-in preset. So if your room is decent, if your mastering chain is simple, and if your levels are in range and you're still anxious, the real issue probably isn't your audio quality, it's not knowing what to trust. And I get it, that's hard because the internet gives you 50 different opinions about what you should be doing. And some of those narrators are just drowning in advice. Maybe you're one of them. Others are over-processing, trying to hit some imaginary standard. And the irony is that their raw audio is probably often completely usable. They just don't know it yet. And this is why next month, on March 9th, 2026, I'm launching the production booth. This is not another course. I'm not going to sell any hype, but this is to create a small space of narrators who can bring real setups, real workflows, and real questions to get clarity. I'm limiting this small group coaching to 5 to 6 narrators so we can have it live, focused on production only, like editing, recording, mastering, gear decisions. And I'm going to make it so there's no long-term commitment. You can join on the months that make sense for you, and you can skip the months that you don't want to show up. I'm not going to do any hot seats. There's no public embarrassment, just practical feedback and honest answers for your questions. Because sometimes you don't need a new microphone. You just need someone to say, dude, you're good. You need to stop touching it. If you've been stuck tweaking, if you feel close but not confident, if you want real clarity on your production process, that's what we're going to be doing inside of the production booth. I'm going to be having all of the details below, so you can click on the link there. And even if you don't join, I hope that this video, even though it's short, helps you realize that all you need to do is just simplify. Because most of the time, your audio isn't the problem. Overthinking is.